I want to get your thoughts on Mark Cuban's comment that referee Ken Maurer, now he was on the floor, he was involved, he was the one who slapped Doc Rivers with the second technical, and then that was the ejection that led to the tirade Tuesday night at the end of the Clippers-Nets game. But Cuban says that Maurer needs to be disciplined for that video right there. For right the first minute of the game, Bojan Bogdanovic committed a blatant double dribble that went uncalled. Maurer was looking right at the play, and Cuban basically said suspend him, demote him, make him ref a game in the D-League. I mean, he was furious about that call in the opening minute. What'd you think about that?
I love Mark Cuban. I love his passion. I love him as an owner in the league for so many reasons. This is stupid. I'm sorry. You know what? Officials make mistakes every single game. And yes, was it in front of Maurer's face? Could he have forgotten that Bogdanovic had used the dribble already? Yes, and it happened in the first minute of the game. I have to tell you, I don't have a problem with Ken Maurer at all for anything that occurred that night in Brooklyn, including the Doc Rivers technical. Everything the Clippers do when it comes to the referees absolutely precedes them. This is the whiniest team I've ever seen. And Doc, as opposed to being a guy that tries to control it, he leads the way. And they too often, this team uses the referees as a crutch. Now, I hear what Cuban's saying. He wants referees to be held to a very high standard. But again, Ken Maurer's very good at his job by and large. He made a mistake early in a basketball game. And again, you could say it affected the game late. Sure, it went to double overtime. It was an extra possession and Nets got. Nonetheless, it's okay that the ref makes a mistake. Things happen. It's the human element. And I think Mark Cuban, quite frankly, ought to look in the mirror because he's got a miserable team right now. And when it comes to personnel moves this past offseason, he made a couple of mistakes too. I mean, Darren Williams looks shot, guys. Darren Williams is a guy that can't stay on the court. When he's on the court, he's not good. And what's happened with Mark Cuban, and I give him credit in this respect, in that he's tried to keep a team together around Dirk Nowitzki to keep it competitive into the end of Nowitzki's career, but it's cost his franchise dearly going forward, and their rebuild is going to be so much more painful because of how long Cuban has tried to pry and keep this playoff window open. So I think for Mark Cuban here, stuff like that, he's got to take a step back on and realize, hey, everybody's doing the best they can to do their job. Ken Maurer makes mistakes. Lord knows Mark Cuban makes mistakes.